Swiss Frankie.
Yeah, full tribe in the building. Full tribe static addict. Melchizedek Media, Melchizedek Music.
www.swissfrankie.com.
Stay focused. Yeah, how what we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused, don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused, it's like blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused, Hebrew we got next. I preach the Melchizedek. Stay focused. Yeah, how what we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused, don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused, it's like blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused, Hebrew we got next. So never abandon your post.
Keep your eyes on the prize. I'm not talking about no dollar sign. The kingdom's at hand, that's the plan, my man. Spiritual gifts is what I store up. Waiting for the sun to show up. Then Babylon gon' burn up, and them gold streets gon' turn up. There'll be love for thy neighbor, will be heavenly favor. Now true love's what you get when you live in the script. So tune in to this vibration. We from his holy nation, here to give words to the ears that hear. Screaming Yahshua's coming till he appears. Cry loud and spare not brute. Now that scripture, strong in the faith in this heavenly race. Washed by the blood of Yahweh Shah, that's grace.
Stay focused. Yeah, how what we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused, don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused, it's like blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused, Hebrew we got next. I preach the Melchizedek. Stay focused. Yeah, how what we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused, don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused, it's like blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused, Hebrew we got next. So never abandon your post.
Shalom, family. It's your little brother Benign coming at you with another video. This video is a continuation of the Searching for Babylon series, which should be linked to the 10 Toes Found series. The purpose of this particular video is to introduce the main characters written of in the book of Revelation that will be present in the last days. Those characters are the woman who will bring forth a man-child, the dragon, the beast, the false prophet, the image of the beast, and the 10 toes who will destroy Babylon, according to the book of Revelation, and the whore who rides the beast. In the previous videos, we searched for the 10 toes and found them. I tried to be as thorough as possible when producing all the evidence of what actors filled the roles of the 10 toes. If you haven't seen those videos, please go back and check them out. Now, these videos aren't meant to persuade anyone to believe what I believe, but are meant to show how I have come to the conclusions that I have come to based on the information that I have come across. Like I said in the previous video, the more information that two parties share, the greater the chances of them coming to an agreement. These videos are also meant for me to keep a record of my growth and of my learning, that I might one day look back on them and trace where I came from to where I would currently be at that point in time. So if you disagree with my research, then that's fine, and feel free to tell me why in the comment section. Like I said, this video is to go over the characters written of in the end times in the book of Revelation. In this video, I will not reveal who I believe to be the actors who will play these characters. I want to present as much evidence and information for each character in their separate series, the same way that we did for the 10 Toes. And for some of those characters, I'm going to put on trial, or should I say audition, several actors to see who fits the roles. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with all this characters and actor talk, I'll explain that in a moment. But I would like to audition these actors for you to see and decide for yourself. Then I will reveal who I think the actors are. Like I said, I'm not here to convince anyone to believe what I believe, but only to show you why I believe it. Now, before I started studying the book of Revelation and end time events for myself, I had noticed a particular pattern of those teaching end times that didn't sit right with me. Most of the people that I had listened to had what I call the nutty professor theory. I call it that because I noticed that a person would have the same actor playing multiple roles, just like Eddie Murphy did in The Nutty Professor. As you can see, every character except for maybe one or two were played by Eddie Murphy. He was the professor, his brother, his mother and father, and he even played the role of the grandmother. If you pay attention to most people when they give you their understanding of the end time events, they often have one actor playing multiple characters or roles. For instance, in one breath, a person might say that the Pope is the dragon. Then they will say that he is the beast in the next breath. Then the false prophet, and then the harlot that rides the beast. Or that the Catholic Church is the woman or bride, then the dragon, the beast, the false prophet, and the mother of all harlots, all in one explanation. Or that the United States of America is the beast in one breath, and then Babylon in the next. To me, that's just utter confusion. So in my study, once I have placed an actor as one of the characters, or in a role position, they stay there. Each one of the end time characters, or a different character, that all have different roles or fates. Therefore, one actor cannot play multiple roles. Once you pick an actor to play that role, you can't switch him to another spot. Like we have already found, the 10 toes / 10 horns, or the barbaric / Nordic tribes that conquered Rome and mixed with Rome's inheritance to become a kingdom made of both iron and miry clay. That's where they will stay. So we want to do the same for the woman / bride as we did for the 10 toes, as well as for the dragon, the beast, the false prophet, the image of the beast, and the whore who rides the beast. We will show who the woman is with the man-child though, as well as who is the dragon, since there isn't a mystery of who they are. The Bible will show us so that we don't have to guess or choose. By the end of this video, we will have the first 3 characters at the top filled with an actor. As for the others, we will continue their search in upcoming videos, if it is Yah's will. First, we're going to start with the woman who shall bring forth a man-child. I know that the Christian community believes this woman to be the church, but the scriptures clearly show that the woman is Israel. I would like to audition both the church and the nation of Israel to see who fits the role, but that's not possible because there aren't any scriptures to support the church being a woman. I can only prove how the church is not the woman. On the other hand, there are plenty of scriptures to show that the woman is Israel. We're going to read some of the characteristics of the woman and then use precept upon precept to show who she is. We're going to read from the book of Revelation chapter 12, but only the verses that pertain to the woman and not the whole chapter, starting with verse 1, which reads, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, pain to be delivered. And she brought forth the man-child, who shall rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Yah, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yah, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yah, and have the testimony of Yahshua the Christ." The book of Revelation gives us our first clue in verse 1 to find for a certainty who is the actor that plays the role of the woman who brought forth a man-child. The sun, moon, and stars shall be our subjects that we will use line upon line to search for. For those of you who don't know what precept upon precept, line upon line means, I will try to explain really quick. The book of Isaiah chapter 28 verses 9 and 10 reads, "Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, and drawn from the breasts. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. What this means is that those he will teach knowledge and make to understand his doctrine are those that are weaned from the milk, meaning those who have read the entire Bible and understands the basics of it, which shows that reading the Bible in its entirety is good and must be done first, but it's not enough to give you knowledge and understand doctrine. In order to do that, you must use precept upon precept and line upon line, which essentially means that once you find the topic or subject that you want more knowledge about, you have to find that subject in other books or different chapters and connect those verses together. The more verses you find on that subject, the more understanding you will have. That's why it says here a little and there a little. For an example, when reading about Passover in the book of Leviticus, which reads, "In the 14th day on the first month at even is Yah's Passover, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yah. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread." Based on these verses alone, one might think that Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread are two separate feast days, that you would keep the Passover on the 14th day of the year, then on the 15th day, you would start a 7-day count of eating unleavened bread, making the feast days a combined total of 8 days. Now, with precept upon precept, line upon line, we get better understanding of how to keep the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread. Exodus chapter 12, verse 18 reads, "In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread, until the 21st day of the month at even." So when we put the lines written in Leviticus upon the lines written in Exodus, we get a better understanding when we bring them together. Leviticus says that we should eat unleavened bread for 7 days, but the book of Exodus says that the feast is over on the 21st day at evening. Now, if you started your count based on Leviticus 23 on the 15th day, then you would end your feast on the 22nd day and not the 21st day. But the book of Exodus says that the feast starts on the 14th day at evening. Why? Because you must eat unleavened bread with your Passover meal. Passover is actually day 1 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So if you start your 7-day count on the day of Passover, your feast will end on the 21st day as it's supposed to, and not on the 22nd. So we had a little understanding of the feast days using just one passage. By adding another passage on top or putting precept upon precept, line upon line, we get more knowledge and are able to understand doctrine. Then with here a little and there a little, we find supporting verses such as Mark chapter 14, verse 12, which tells us that the first day of unleavened bread is the same day that they killed the Passover. We're going to use that same thing with the woman written of in the book of Revelation. Verse 1 of Revelation gives us a subject or subjects to search the rest of the book to see if we can get a better understanding of who the woman is. If we search the scriptures for verses about the sun, moon, and 12 stars, we will find a story at the beginning of the book. In fact, the lines to put upon these lines written in the last book of the Bible are found in the first book of the Bible. In the book of Genesis, chapter 37, we find a story about Joseph's dream that mentions the sun, moon, and stars. Let's check it out and see if we can get a better understanding of the woman in Revelation chapter 12. Genesis chapter 37 verse 5 reads, "And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For, behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee on the earth? In Genesis chapter 37, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars represented Jacob, his wife, and his children. In other words, the whole family of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. So the sun, moon, and 11 stars represented the whole house of Israel minus Joseph. The book of Revelation says that the woman was clothed with the sun and moon and 12 stars. So that includes Joseph. So when reading Revelation 12, we can use line upon line to find out who the woman is. In Genesis chapter 37, it tells us that the woman is the whole house of Israel by precepting the sun, moon, and 12 stars. So now we have found the actor who fills the character of the woman who shall bring forth a man-child. She is the house of Israel. With proper precepting this subject, we don't have to guess or make up who we think that the woman is. The Bible tells us, even if it is in code. We already have the Europeans as the 10 toes based on the 10 toes found series. But how do we know that the 10 toes in Daniel chapter 2 are the 10 horns in the book of Revelation? Well, that's a good question. Let's see if we can use line upon line to prove that they are indeed one and the same. In the book of Daniel chapter 2, Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a statue made of different metals and feet made of iron and miry clay. In this dream, a stone made without hands smites the image on its feet, causing the image to be broken into pieces. This stone is understood to be Christ. The stone striking the feet of the idol symbolizes Christ smiting that last kingdom made of iron and miry clay, which we have shown to be the European nations in the 10 Toes Found series. The Europeans are the ones who will fight against Christ at his return. The book of Revelation says that the 10 horns and the beasts are the ones who will make war with the Lamb. Revelation chapter 17 verse 3 reads, So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Dropping down to verse 12, And then the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their enemies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Using line upon line, we get a better understanding that the 10 toes that will fight Christ in Daniel chapter 2 are the same 10 horns on the head of the beast that will fight Christ in Revelation chapter 17 and chapter 19, showing that the 10 toes of Nebuchadnezzar's statue and the 10 horns of the beast's heads are both one and the same. Another key thing to remember about the 10 horns is that they will be at least part of the people who will take down Babylon according to the book of Revelation, which means that the beast would have to turn on the whore. This is why she is not present when the Lamb returns. Christ doesn't destroy Babylon despite popular belief. She was already destroyed by her once allies by the time Yeshua returns. The book of Jeremiah says that nations from the north, which also means mystery, shall come and make her desolate and burn her with fire as well. Both things must be true. So at the very least, the 10 toes / 10 horns are among those many nations that come against Babylon. Now let's look at the dragon. The dragon can also be proven through scriptures who he is, just like the 10 toes and the woman who will bring forth a man-child. The 10 toes was proven through history and the formula of the conquerors. In other words, whoever conquered the gold is the silver, and whoever conquered the silver or the bronze, so on and so forth. History shows that the people who conquered both Western and Eastern Rome mixed with the iron, making the kingdom of iron and miry clay. The woman was proven using line upon line, and we shall do the same for the dragon. Many people think that the dragon and the beast are one and the same because there are similarities. Both the dragon and the beast have 7 heads, but the dragon has 7 crowns on his 7 heads. The beast has 10 crowns on its 10 horns that sits on 7 heads. Besides, there isn't any room for guessing when it comes to the dragon. The book of Revelation tells us that the dragon was the same old serpent in the garden called the devil and Satan. Now, because Revelation 12 says that the dragon made war with the woman's seed, many people have several actors to fill this role, such as the Catholic Church or Constantine or the Pope who signed the Papa Bulls. But the truth is that all the, quote, bad guys, unquote, make war with the saints. The little horn in Daniel chapter 7 makes war with the saints. In the 13th chapter of Revelation, the beast makes war with the saints as well. It is also written in the book of Revelation that Babylon will make war with the saints in chapter 17 and 18. So Lucifer isn't the church or Constantine or anyone else who made war with the saints, but Lucifer is Lucifer. Another thing contrary to popular belief, what you see in this picture will never happen. Nowhere in the Bible does Christ fight Satan. As we saw earlier, it is actually the beast who fights Christ. Revelation chapter 20 says that the dragon will be bound, and it seems without a fight. He will be bound in the same bottomless pit that the beast comes out of. He is bound there for 1,000 years, then released for a little season. After he is released from his prison, he will go out and deceive the nations/Gentiles again. After that, he will be cast into the lake of fire with the beast and the false prophet to be tormented forever. So the dragon is Lucifer or Satan, like the Bible says. Cannot be the church, Constantine, the Pope, or anyone else. The church can't be bound and thrown into a bottomless pit, and no man can live in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. Only something supernatural can do that. So now let's look at the beast. Now, what I'm about to say about the beast, some people might have an issue with it, but I'm going to say it anyway. The beast is the son of the dragon. I'm going to say it again. The beast is the son or the anointed one of the dragon. Let me prove this. The book of Isaiah chapter 14 said that Lucifer, who is Satan, who is also the dragon, has said in his heart that he would be like the Most High. Well, remember in the book of Luke chapter 4 verse 5 when the dragon takes Christ to a mountaintop and shows him all the kingdoms of the earth in a moment's time? The dragon, who was also called the God of this world, tells Christ that all the earth was given unto him and he could give it to whomever he pleased. That if Christ would bow down and worship him, he would give the world to Christ, right? Of course, Christ declined the offer, but was Christ the only one he made this offer to? The scriptures tells us that someone else took him up on that deal and had received all power and authority from the dragon. According to Revelation chapter 13, the dragon gave power and authority to the beast. This is another example of Lucifer's attempt to be like the Most High. The dragon gave power and authority to the beast the same way Yah gave all power to Yeshua in Matthew chapter 28. And the Most High also gave Yeshua authority in the book of John chapter 5. So the same way that Yah has his anointed one on his right side, the dragon has his anointed one whom he has given all power and authority to. The book of Revelation say that in the last days, the world will worship the dragon and the world will worship the beast. So it's not just Luciferians or Satanists in this world, right? But there is another evil among this evil, an evil that was given permission to share worship with the dragon, the same way that Yah and his son are worshiped. Now, in order for the beast to be anointed on the same but opposite level as Yeshua, as well as worship, the beast must be a god or a deity. I'm going to say that again. Not only is the beast the dragon's anointed, but the beast is a little g god too. So although we may have imagined this in the past, the devil fighting Christ, which is essentially a god fighting a god, right? But there will still be a god fighting a god, but those gods are Christ and the beast. Again, Revelation chapter 17 says that the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies make war with Christ and his army, a god versus a god. Think about it. Wouldn't you need a god on your side if you're going to fight Christ? And that god isn't the dragon or Satan. Another more convincing way to prove that the beast is a god is through showing and looking at the false prophet. There are two beasts spoken of in Revelation chapter 13. The first beast comes out of the sea. It looks like a leopard, has feet like a bear, and a mouth like a lion. The second beast comes out of the earth, having two horns like a lamb, and he speaks as a dragon. He will cause the earth to worship the first beast. The second beast will do great wonders and make fire come from heaven. He will be able to do these miracles through the power that is given to him by the first beast. It will be this second beast that will get the world to make an image of the first beast. It will be this beast that will cause all to receive the mark of the first beast. It will be he who will implement that no man shall buy or sell, save he have the mark of the first beast. Revelation chapter 20 says that it was the false prophet who performed the miracles and causes the earth to worship the beast. Using line upon line, again we see that the second beast in chapter 13 is the false prophet when precepting who causes the earth to worship the first beast and who has deceived the earth with the miracles they performed. The false prophet is the key to proving that the beast is of God. A prophet only exists to speak the words of a god, or else who is he prophesying for? But let's also prove that with scripture and line upon line. The false prophet written of in the last book of the Bible was foretold to come in the first book. In the book of Genesis, the Most High warned the Israelites about him. The book of Genesis chapter 13 reads, "If there arise among you a prophet, or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass whereof he has spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast known not, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for Yah your Elohim proveth you, to know whether ye love Yah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul." Showing you that there are prophets of other gods, whose signs and wonders come to pass. That's only possible if they receive their power from an actual God. And that God isn't Yah, but is powerful and able to make things manifest, like fire falling from the sky. Through prophets is how the gods communicate to man. The Most High Yah is said to have spoken only to Moses face to face, but the rest of the time he spoke to the children of Israel was through the mouth of prophets. All the other gods have prophets too, like the prophets of Baal. In fact, in the book of Exodus chapter 7, Yah made Moses a god and Aaron his prophet. The Most High spoke to Moses, then Aaron, Moses' prophet, spoke to Pharaoh for Moses. The false prophet deceives the world into worshiping the beast in the beast's image because the beast is a god. I'm going to do more videos on the beast to reveal what god I believe him to be. But for now, I want to establish that the beast is a god, not a system, not a church, and not a land, but a physical being that can be bound and is living because he and the false prophet are thrown alive into the lake of fire. The false prophet cannot be determined as of yet because there hasn't been anyone on this earth to cause everyone to receive a mark or else cannot buy or sell. As far as the image of the beast, I will also touch on that in the beast series. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not going to reveal who I believe fits all the characters as of yet. I wanted to introduce the characters and reveal the ones that there wasn't a real mystery to, like who is the woman and who is the dragon. As for the rest of them, in particular the beast and the daughter of Babylon, they will have separate videos so that I can submit as much evidence as I can on them for you to decide for yourself. On top of all that, I'm enjoying the anticipation of their revealing. So the last character to look at is the daughter of Babylon. If it is the Most High's will, the next video will be entirely about the daughter of Babylon. In that video, we will audition several actors to see which one fits the role of Mystery Babylon. We will audition the church, Christianity, the Pope, the United States, and Saudi Arabia. We will list all the characteristics of Babylon, as well as the prophecies that are to happen to her. Then see if one of the actors mentioned fits every scenario. I'm sure each one of them fits some of the scenarios and characteristics, but there is only one that fits them all. So look out for the next video that'll be on the whore who rides the beast, if it is the Most High's will. Until then, family, stay safe, stay prayed up, and if you don't do anything else, stay focused. Shalom.
Stay focused. Yahweh we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused. Don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused. Israelite blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused. Hebrew we got next. I preach the Miguel's a dead. Stay focused. Yahweh we choose, we worship in spirit and truth. Stay focused. Don't be a fool. Study to show thyself approved. Stay focused. Israelite blood in my chest. The word manifested in flesh. Stay focused. Hebrews we got next, so never abandon your post.